Hi everybody, this is Rabbit Hope here, and today I just wanted to talk about what the devs plan on doing for the next PTB, as well as what they plan on inputting into the game in the future. So I'm just going to go over a quick few points on what they talked about in their stream, which I saw as major points that they were thinking about changing in the game. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is they were planning on adding a few more buffs to the killers. Basically, one of the buffs that they were thinking about adding in is making it possible for the killer to do other actions while they're waiting for their weapon's hit cooldown ratio thing, you know, where they hit you and they go to wipe the blood off. They were thinking about making it to where you could possibly do other things during that time period, like climb through windows, destroy pallets, or pick people up. They just didn't want you to be able to swing right after the first swing and take a person down in 2 hits real quick. That was their only goal by adding in a weapon cooldown. So basically, in doing this, they'll make it easier for the killers to get other things done quicker so that they're not taking up so much time during chases and stuff, and they're able to kill people a lot faster. Alright, so let's move on. The next thing they want to do is they want to make it to where when you give props to somebody, it will actually reward them in the long run. So the more props a person gets, the more chances they have in receiving a reward at the end of the year. So the person with the most props at the end of the year has a chance to win something from Dead by Daylight. They were talking about inputting something like that into the game. It's something that they really want to add, so it looks like it's very likely that by the end of the year they will have something inputted so that player will get a reward for having the most props at the end of the year. Alright, the next thing on the list is they want to fix some bugs that they have with a few of the killers. One of the killers that they mainly want to fix right now is the Hag. She has a few visual bugs right now that they really want to work on, and they are. Another key point that they're working on in the game right now is they are still working on some of the sound fixes. One of those being the killer's footsteps. They'd like to make Michael's and the Wraith's footsteps a little bit lighter since they are supposed to be stealth killers. They did raise the sound of the killer's footsteps recently, and they think that Michael's and the Wraith's footsteps are still a little too loud, so they'd like to modify them and make them a little bit quieter. And the next thing they talked about on the list was they want to do a possible killer buff for the Trapper. It's been a really long time since his last buff. He's been kind of a mascot for the game, so they really want to do something for him. One of the things they've been talking about is adding an offering or an add-on for him that will make his traps activate, similar to that of the pig's traps without being an insta-death for people. Instead, traps that he hasn't picked up and placed on the map, some of them have a possibility of activating so that they'll be placed on their own without him having to go and pick them up and place them. It'll all be at random, so like if there's a trap sitting in the grass somewhere that's been deactivated or wasn't activated in the first place, will activate itself and open up and be ready to trap a survivor. Alright, and another thing they wanted to talk about is making changes to some of the killers' add-ons and offerings, not just the Trapper, but many other killers. Some of the killers do not have iridescent offerings, and they would like to add some, and they'd like to change a few of the drawbacks so that they're not so harsh on the killers. They haven't talked about specifically what they're going to change in the aspect and which add-ons they're going to change, but they are making changes to those, and in the future, we may see them in some of the PTBs before they're officially inputted into the game. The next thing on my list is they were talking about changing timing and speed on Bloodlust. So instead of gaining a large speed boost over long periods of time, they're talking about just doing smaller speed boosts over short intervals. So like it won't take you longer to speed up, and you won't get like a major speed boost randomly either, so it'll be more balanced basically. They haven't talked about officially adding it into the game, and it will probably be inputted into the PTB before they officially add it. It's just something that's a work in progress right now. The next thing I wanted to talk about on the list that I have a clip for that they showed in the stream is changing Decisive Strike to make the skill check larger, as well as adding a drawback to it. So basically the skill check will take up most of the circle of the skill check radius, so it'll be practically impossible to miss the skill check, but there still will be a skill check and a very small possibility that you'll miss it. And the drawback for this version of Decisive Strike will be once you use Decisive Strike, you won't be able to fully heal the rest of the game. So like people can pick you up from the dying state, but nobody will be able to fully heal you. So it'll be just like No Mither, but with the benefits of Decisive Strike being able to be hit even when the server's laggy. So it'll be more of an endgame type of perk that you'll want to use, which most people use it for the endgame anyways, or save it for when they absolutely have to use it, like when they're going to get hooked for the final time or something like that. So here's the clip for the decisive strike so you guys can see exactly how much of the radius it takes up. Alright, that was pretty cool to watch. I hope you guys enjoyed watching that. I have a few other clips before the video ends. They showed the hatch close mechanic. Let's take a look at that. So basically, the killer will be able to close the hatch. This hasn't been officially inputted yet, but it will be in the PTB, they said, and it is a work in progress, so if you don't like it, it's not something that's been officially inputted yet. You can still comment on it in the feedback in the forums and stuff like that after the PTB, after you've tested it out. And then 2 sneaky changes that they made that they wanted to talk about are they will be adding an animation to Dead Hard so that it no longer looks like you're lag switching. Let's take a look at that real quick. That was pretty cool. And the last one they talked about was vacuum fixes. So basically pickups, pallets, and hooks whenever a killer or a survivor look like they're vacuuming into something. They plan on fixing that. I have a clip of the killer not being able to vacuum pick up a survivor. So basically, the killer will have to stand on top of the survivor now. They won't be able to drag them out from under pallets or anything like that anymore. So if you do make it to a pallet, there is the chance that your friends can pallet save you. And that was all they talked about in this DEVS stream. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I know it's been a while since the last time I did an update video, and I thought I'd try to keep up with it a little bit more just for you guys. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and bye-bye.